two generations of brothers making music like this, it's very unique.
Coming from a family of deaf parents, and all of a sudden they get some children that, wow, they're musically talented. It's blossomed. It's really special now. I think it says a lot to who we are, what we've learned, where we want to go, and the legacy we leave behind.
My name is David Ullman, and you just heard the voices of my brother Brian, my dad Jim, and his brother Jack. Together, we are the Ullman Boys, and in this conversation you'll hear us going track by track through our first studio recording collection, the newly released family album. We'll be reminiscing about the stories surrounding the song selections, the recording sessions, and the inspirations for the project. You can find Family Album wherever you get your digital music, your Apple, your Amazon, your Spotify, YouTube, iHeartMusic, something called Deezer, I think. You can also stream and download the collection for free on dreamingoutloudrecords.com. This is our 50th Dreaming Out Loud music release, spanning over 20 years, and in some ways, this family album was almost 60 years in the making. I spoke to the other three members of the band from my home in Minnesota, where I've lived for the last 10 years with my wife and 2 dogs. Dad, Jack, and Brian, as well as the family Shih Tzus, Emma and Sophia, were all together in Rittman, Ohio in the house where we all grew up. And despite the sentimental sound bites I chose for the intro, we also have a lot of laughs. Maybe because we were a little punchy from talking for 2 solid hours prior to what I include here. I hope you're half as delighted by this talk as we were. Well, then we get into the last sort of pair of covers, which are the U2 songs, Vertigo and Where the Streets Have No Name, that I got to sing on. And so there's a kind of a chronology to this too. So in the Wilbury songs, we get Brian. Brian never gets a lead vocal for a full song in this collection, but he and I are both introduced as singers. So there's that similar thing of like where Jack starts it off and incorporates brother Jimmy, and then Brian gets in there, and then I'm brought in as well. And it seems like that transition from like 5 o'clock somewhere to One Headlight to where I kind of go from that side mic to the center stage and get to sing these incredible these songs that mean so much to me. The band U2 means an awful lot to me and my group of friends, and of course, well, not of course, but well, you guys, as you know, I don't know who will hear this later, may not know, but I guess it would have been 2011, we did this like mini set of U2 songs at one of our kind of annual all Ullman Band Musica gigs, and went so well and was so much fun to do that I sort of just thought like to get to do that at all was so great, and to be able to, because those you can't, I mean maybe you could, but I've never heard like satisfactory acoustic versions of these 2 songs. U2 songs can be, there are some U2 songs you can cover on an acoustic guitar, but Vertigo and Where the Streets Have No Name, I don't count among them, certainly not for me. So and as somebody who does, like I really love to sing out, and really get that chance to have that kind of passionate vocal when it's working. There's nothing quite that feels quite like it.
Yeah. And
I do that a lot without a band context, but that has also been rather limiting in how that can be received sometimes, because
they're not expecting it.
So for me, or it made it challenging for me to like play coffee house gigs and stuff with my desire to do that. But anyway, so to get to do it like in a full band context, like we got to do it live, was so exciting. And then, so as this project kind of evolved from the early time, like so pretty much up to until this point of the U2 songs, I remember it existing in like 2019 or whatever. And I had participated in the Wilburys things, and it seemed like a collection already. But then I remember being home for Christmas and the kind of surprise of like, these are almost ready. We just need some lead vocals on it, and so it kind of it brought me in a more full-throated way, literally, to the project, which was super fun.
Yeah, no, I remember we're trying to close this set of recordings up, and we were starting to see how we could do so, and we were trying to fix some flubs we did live, and just wanted to show that we could do it right. And we knew we could. I mean, the stress of live music is stressful.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So if we can get some bit of control and do some recordings, just give us a take 2, and I think we could do great.
yeah.
It's like so.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the production on these both, but particularly Vertigo, is and I mean, you really nail those like edge guitar tones in both songs. But the overall production and energy of Vertigo, the first that appears, is so exciting. And Jack, you're drumming on these, like, holy crap! Like,
Yeah, I mean
Vertigo,
that's the start of all of this is Jack's drums. It's just like Larry.
He is the engine.
Yeah,
And just totally underrated. The only reason why he's not better is because he doesn't play.
doesn't have access to him.
But that was proof, you know.
yeah. It's in my room.
Actually, the main thing for me was to do those songs and do them right is that the memory is over in Akron.
Mm-hmm.
The memory that there was a huge crowd that night.
Yeah, I remember.
And the memory that they have is the memory I want to have. And by doing that again, I've got that memory live. I can play it in my car. I can play it.
I can relate to that.
Yeah, yeah.
And if it doesn't give you joy, something's wrong. It gives me tons of
Yeah.
joy. We did it. We did it.
That's
It was
right.
great.
Yeah, I mean, those are tough songs to sing, certainly, and
Oh yeah.
Of course, we got our good
Vertigo.
memories of
And-
of Brian dropping stuff and the organ not going sing.
I had the pick from Germany, West Germany pick. And I go to do the edge guitar part, and the pick is not in my hand. I've got the right delay. I've got the right amplifier. I've got all this stuff without the pick. They use a pick from West Germany that if you don't have the pick, you're not playing U2. And I had it, and I didn't have it in my hands. When I started doing it straight.
And by having the song now and done it right, you still have the memory of what happened that night. It never goes away.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. That's just,
yeah.
it's fantastic.
And if we're going to those type of memories, I can't replace you running up on the stage.
Oh yeah, I went as close to they had as backstage.
I felt like as the musician, I was at the concert,
Right.
and
Oh, that's great. Because I didn't have very far to run. It's like 15
you
feet.
made it. You made it, dude. You made it.
We were running with you. As you're
Jeez.
running up there, we're running with you.
My soul
mentally.
started running
It's
after
like,
you started running. I was like,
Here we go. As soon as when you did that, then just here we go. And to be able to play that kind of song with that kind of energy, for us, it was the Beatles. And we know how U2 meant so much to you and Susie, just to do those songs.
Right.
I know I couldn't wait to do Vertigo. To me, that was the ice cream. And then to play the guitar part, I was playing the black guitar, but it was dark and I couldn't see the fret markers. And since I didn't know where I was at in the guitar, I played the thing half a step low. And Brian was so mad at me and was yelling at me.
watch the recordings.
If he'd had a gun, he'd have shot me.
At least in the knee.
Now it's easy. He says, just turn me off, turn the amp off. Or if I'd understood, but we were on opposite sides. I wasn't even in front of my amp.
Our amps were.
So we were on opposite sides, and he is trying to give me sign language that I didn't understand. At least most of it in there. Some of them I did understand. But to play that, I was playing with such passion and just loved playing it, but I couldn't hear myself, and not realizing I was playing a half a step too low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think I had a drop D, and I really messed it up. So to know that was my criteria. I want to do that song because I want to do it right. And then to do it right and then have the memories, like Jack said, of seeing those brings back those memories, but now I got something to go with it.
Yeah, it sounds better.
We really nailed that song. And your vocals are off the chart.
Yeah. I mean,
I have people that listen when I do Fogerty songs, CCR, and when I got to hit that register a little harder, my voice breaks up. People, that sounds just like John Fogerty.
Yeah.
I've had people say that so many times, how refreshing it is to have somebody say that to you. But when we hear you do U2, that is Bono. Bono could not do any better than what you just did live. It's because you feel it. You're impersonating with the feeling. So those songs mean a lot to me because that is the evolution of going from playing a couple cowboy chord songs, and we've moved into some very difficult songs with the Wilburys and especially with Jacob Dylan, and end up with two really rocking songs that if you use those as, hey, what can you guys do? We can do these. We'll take you. There's no place we couldn't go after you use those as a sample of what we could do. And if I never played another song again, I'll always be proud of the vocals and the effort that we put into that and have it come out. How would you say? Posterity will always be able to point at that and say, that's what we sounded like when we played together.
Uno, dos, tres, catorce. It's dark, the jungle is your head, can rule your heart. I'm feeling so much stronger than I thought. Your eyes are white and though your soul can't be bought, your mind can wander. Hello, hello, I'm at a place called Vertigo. It's everything I wish I didn't know except you. Give me something I can feel. Of holes as bullets rip the sky, of ink with gold. The Ullman Boys, we play our rock and roll. We know that we can't dance, at least we know I can stand the beats. I'm asking for the check. Girl with crimson nails has Jesus round her neck, swinging to the music, swaying to the music. I'm at a place called Vertigo. It's everything I wish I didn't know. But you give me something I can feel. Shake me. Oh yeah.
This has been a Dreamin' Out Loud Records and Hair on the Bear production. It was produced and edited by me, David Ullman. I recorded myself here in Minnesota, and my brother Brian recorded himself, Jim, and Jack in Ohio, both for the interview and of course all the music as well. And speaking of the music, you can find Family Album by the Ullman Boys on Apple, iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, and of course for free at dreamingoutloudrecords.com. For more of the story, including photos, videos, countless links to the related projects mentioned, and the collected 7-part blog series recounting the family music history leading up to this moment, head over to davidullman.net/familyalbum. Thank you to my brother, my uncle, and my dad for sharing their time and memories with me, and thank you to you for taking an interest in us.